Good morning, my name is Dustin. Welcome back to my shop. It doesn't look like much yet, but I just sketched out kind of a Bowie themed. It's gonna have a through tang with a pommel nut, I hope. A knife that I'm gonna make out of this piece of 1084. Maybe I need to secure my porta bandsaw, or maybe it just looks bad because it's in fast forward. I've been asked about what I do with my scraps, and well, there they are. I save all my high carbon steel, I use these pieces a lot, and I have plans for future projects where they're going to be used. I cleaned up the profile, I went to 120 grit, and now it's time to start thinking about what we're going to do to make this knife unique. So the small fullers were an afterthought. I think it'll look pretty cool once it's all done. That was the second time I've done fullers. This time was quite a bit better, mainly because I used my table as a guide versus doing them freehand. So they're not very deep, but I am going to clean them up with a rotary tool, and then we'll start figuring out what we're going to do for a grind. I didn't want the teeth up on top to be square and blocky, so I put a round over to them, and I think they look like shark's teeth. It's not even Shark Week. I used the bevel jig to help me get a pretty consistent and aggressive secondary bevel up on top. I think I show that off here in a minute.
1 minute later.
Here I am again using the bevel jig to set my preliminary bevels. Once they were set, I transitioned to doing them by hand and ended up getting them done pretty quick, at least to a point I was happy with. So this is where we're at with the profile. It's still pretty rough, but I did get most of the scratches out that I wanted to get out before this thing ends up getting heat treated. But for now, I'm gonna stop working on the blade. Well, I'm gonna put my file guide on here and square up the shoulders so the guard fits nice. And I might even start working on getting this thing thinned down and threaded so I can put a pommel nut on here. But it's gonna be handle work. I'm gonna probably finish the handle, and then I'll be able to take it apart and get this thing heat treated, and we'll go from there. So for the guard, I'm going to use this 1/4 inch mild steel. I'm going to cut it big because I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with it yet. I want to make sure I have plenty to work with if I want to. Close. It's a little hard to see, but that's a pretty seamless guard fit up. Well, let's see if we can cut some threads. They're actually cutting really good. Well, we're going to call that a night. Tomorrow, I'm actually going to go fishing in the morning, but I'll probably be back out here to work tomorrow evening, and I'm going to hopefully turn this piece of ebony into a handle. I'm going to turn it on the lathe. Just a quick turning, nothing crazy, but that's what I'm planning on using for the handle. We'll see tomorrow. that's pretty cool. I left these tabs on there so I could stabilize this on my drill press to get the hole drilled through, which I did. It's nice and centered, which is cool. And that's why I left those tabs on there, so I could really get some support on there to drill those holes. Otherwise, that would have been really hard. And I actually am now thinking I may incorporate this one into the guard. I don't know. That one's definitely coming off. But I'm just going to do a little bit of file work until this fits on the handle. Well, I ran out of gas. Luckily, I had enough just to put a little kick in the back of the guard. I had to put it in the forge to get it hot enough to bend the front there. It's actually, it's really cool. I'm going to slip it on and make sure it still fits. All right. The quench went well. I'm going to get that tempering here in a minute, and I'm going to get my shop cleaned. It's a mess. All right, so we are out of temper. I've got a little bit of time tonight, so I'm going to start getting some of this scaly stuff off of here, and I might get the bevels in. We'll see. It doesn't need a whole lot of sanding because it is going to get stone washed. I'll probably just go to 220, maybe 320. So I got the guard all sanded. I think it's going to look cool, I hope. The blade is ready. These things are going to get dipped in acid for a couple of minutes and then stone washed. We're going to go ahead and get this stuff in here. So my camera battery went dead. I didn't film me stone washing it, but it's really not that exciting. I've done it on other videos, and there's a ton of videos out there that do it a lot better than I do. But I'm going to get a little bit of epoxy in the handle and get it glued up. It doesn't need a lot of epoxy, just a little bit. Most of the strength to hold this thing together is coming from this. And then we'll get it cut out, and we'll finish that and be done with the knife. I hope it looks kind of cool. This does only fit on correctly one way, so it is not that way. It is that way. Well, this was a lot of fun. I think it looks pretty cool. I probably should have put some more thought into the handle, but it's done. I'm going to clean this shop up tomorrow and figure out what to build next. We'll see you soon.